I've been doing two things. One of them is that I've got it already started and rolling. We would like to start an IPERS group, which is the retired employed school teachers and bus drivers and police officers, all the state employees, to have a group here, because in other counties that's what happens. This group usually will take a hold of the rural school and actually maintain it. They put on reenactments for students and serve as docents. We've also asked some of the clubs in town. So I'm really trying really hard. The other thing is I'm donating all the profits that come from doing the book to this project for an ongoing thing. And I'm currently, believe it or not, working with the state education department for adding a curriculum in the required Iowa history for Iowa. And I'm very excited about that. So that's still not complete, but it's moving along. My goal is to have this done by creek days. So it's just about, if you would like to, let me pass that around. That's strictly draft yet, but we're getting closer.
Council, do you have any questions you'd like to direct to Sandy? I have a question. Linda, representing the old BC.
Did I cover?
What is your thought on the location?
I like the location because it's close to the museum. We sketched a little deal back there the night that you were at our meeting.
The school is a 25 by 25 foot square building with an 8 by 8 foot entrance building. It did have a concrete pad with 3 steps up, but we would do it handicapped. Greg Neville I've been talking to make it as
Your committee
accessible as possible. So it's not a huge structure. It has 3 windows on each side. I personally think it's a wonderful, would be a wonderful addition to all the other historic buildings that are right there in Odebolt. I'm just so proud that Odebolt is working on trying to restore and keep some of the structures. My ultimate goal is for this to become a tourism activity. As you know, the barns and silo things with the quilts and we've got the Prairie Peddler. Iowa needs to save this and to present these kind of rural activities that will show what Iowa was all about and what's special. And our educational system through the rural schools is so unique in Iowa. And it was known as one of, if not the best system for many years. And it still has a good educational system. But to have had the highest literacy rate basically since the 1900s, we really have done an outstanding job on education in Iowa.
Linda, do you have any comments to make on representing the Odebolt Betterment?
The Betterment Committee decided that they would back this project. We think it's a very worthwhile project. She has done a lot of work on this. She has all the legwork done. The grants are all prepared. She just needs a location. I mean, even the furnishings for this building, she's already located all of the originals, and you have all the books. I'd hate to see it go to Ida Grove over with theirs. I think we need it here in Odebolt. It's something that they can do country school days with grade school here and just walk them down to here. But if we put it down, I mean, here's the corner that we just did. I think the door was like, we decided.
That's where it is originally.
This would be the doorway, but it was, I mean, you could utilize the corner and.
Council, do you have any questions you'd like to direct to Sandy or Linda?
What you would need, what percentage of that lot?
Well, we obviously need the spot to put the school. I mean, country schools had an acre of land around them because they were all put on an acre and they had trees all the way around it. So I'm saying a park setting is just very appropriate for a rural school. But I can see that if you put it as far towards the park, that leaves the whole balance of the rest of that to be developed however you would want it.
Plus it's close to the museum, that was another.
And it's
thing that
close
we
to the
thought.
museum. There are several, people have talked about some of the rural areas. My family happens to own the same acre that it was setting on for 3 generations, and if we wanted to, we could put it right back on it. But the problem is security, and for having people visit it, it's too isolated. There's the Methodist Church cemetery that's still out in that area, has 5 acres, and we've been told that would certainly be available. But again, for security, and that road is not well maintained to get in and out. I really would like to work with the Prairie Peddler and with the museum and with the other structures that we have here, and who knows what we could do with the rest of that if nothing else develops. But I've figured out 4 loops off of the major freeways in Iowa that we could pick up some of the best of the restored schools. And if we can build that as a tourist activity. California, their settlement came from missions, and they do this whole thing in their schools and a tourist activity of visiting missions. If you've ever been to California, going up the coast, they were 1 day's travel apart all the way up the coast of California, but that set the tone and the culture of California. Well, country schools did the same thing for Iowa. So often we only talk about the building. It was really it was the rural settlement for Iowa, and it is how Iowa became what it did, We're known for, it was fun. We came back for rag. Yep, that's my dad. But there's a lot of prominent people here that happen to be relatives of the people that went there. This happened to be the first group that settled in Richland, period. It was the Bealers. Dwayne and Roger and Benjamin and Don Hofling. There's a whole lot of the grandchildren that were a part of that very first, and it was at her farm that the original homestead for Richland existed. He died of a blizzard later, but his name was Valentino Rudolph. And he was married to a Bealer, so he was a brother-in-law. But you have so much history. We have the Cook Ranch, we have the Adams Ranch, we have the popcorn. Yeah, it's just amazing what this town can do with its rural history. And I hope to make it the best. And for research, I'm really amazed at how much we have, because Ruth Boney saved the records for the school, so I could go back and analyze not only the length of school, how much teacher turnover we had. There's a lot of myth on what was going on in country schools. And it was really exciting for me to see what a fantastic system it had. They worked with the county superintendent of schools, but they left all the decisions with the farmers. And that makes a big difference. So, those are the 3 things that I need or would like for you to think about. And, I apologize. I'm not an expert on, he knows how to lay everything out and what you want, but I don't. But if you tell me what you need, you've read one of the grants. The grants are really ready to go. You have to hit the certain timing with them, and we missed the timing. But I've been working with, all the groups, so I have confidence we will get those grants.
Sandy, I might have missed this, and you probably said it and I didn't hear it. But if the council would go ahead and okay putting that schoolhouse on that, as it's diagram there, what is your timetable? Can you?
Well, if we would have gotten this all set up before, I could have said we were going to roll it out this summer. We have to have the location, we have to have a mechanism to put the grant, the pledged money that we already have, which is getting closer to 30,000 already, and I haven't even gone out and asked for money yet. So I'm just saying that it sort of all goes together. I mean, I'd love to roll it out. The longer we wait for the school, the worse shape it's going to get in. Already, we're going to have to cut the bottom of that. It's going to look really rough when it comes in. But what they're going to do is cut the bottom off because it's been sitting without a foundation for years. And it had an oak floor, so it's really held its shape, but it's in bad shape. But the idea is they'll cut the bottom of the school off, so they're going to bring it in and they're going to jack it up, rebuild under, and then we'll have the top of the school is in good shape. And what do you call those things in the ceilings? The very expensive part of buildings, those are in good shape. You know, because they used to build them really good. You can't build them like they used to. So I'm just saying, I don't want to do a project and bring it in and have it look terrible forever. So I want to have the first phase done when we move.
This year,
Well, it'd be nice to.
next year.
I don't know.
You don't know yet.
I don't know. It depends on the timing.
Now,
We were hoping to move. I mean, the movers and Greg and everybody was ready to move in April and May. So, but now we don't have the grants.
Do you need to know tonight if the council would be willing to,
I don't have any grant that's pressing that we haven't missed. We've missed 3 deadlines, and we've got one that doesn't have a deadline.
okay.
But all I'm telling you is that I will get those grants, and they all require matching. So it's tricky. That's why I'm saying if we go ahead with the funds we have now in this year, and we can't get the grants till next November and December for the following year, then we have to have another matching. They only go within the calendar year. Does that make sense?
But you really need to know if the council would go along with that location. You really need to know that, don't you?
Absolutely. I mean, because I'm putting it this way. I'm not willing to wait another year to figure out where it's going to go. I mean, there are options other than Odebolt. I mean, I'm not saying that as a threat or anything, but I'm just saying you can't wait forever on this school. I mean, the school is in every year it gets worse. Does that make sense?
It's deteriorating.
Yeah.
Council, may I have your attention? At this point, I'm not asking for motions or, are you interested in having this schoolhouse in that location?
It doesn't bother me, like you said though before, where's the financial upkeep gonna come from? You know, in years to come, is that supposed to be taken care of with this system
Well,
you're gonna set up, or?
They do have ongoing grants that you can get for, I mean, there's grants out there for example, painting, just painting, that you can apply for. Because even the state of Iowa wants to preserve as many of these schools as possible. But it would take somebody or a committee with some energy to make sure that they had those grants going. If this becomes part of a textbook or a unit for the state, then I guarantee you're going to have a nice ongoing thing. But I can't guarantee that. That's why I'm interested in getting these retired teachers involved, because that's the best way you can do it, is to have some kind of group. Obviously they want to meet for social reasons and for understanding what's going on for them, but it's nice to have another project and being responsible for a school too. So
Would anybody have any objection?
I mean, I can't guarantee.
How far off the alley is it gonna be?
Wherever you want me to put it.
you're wanting to utilize it right off of the alley, according to that, is that right?
I wouldn't put it that tight.
Maybe not that close, but yeah.
Well, that's what I mean, there's
Come
a
on,
drifting
Beth.
issue in that alley and places to put the snow in that alley.
Yeah.
I would guess that you're gonna have to put it back, can't be right on the end of that.
Yeah, we probably wouldn't.
Yeah, I
But you wanna
wouldn't-
run a sidewalk, just come off of one, and I understand that, but I think you're gonna have to get it off there some.
If I remember,
have to lay
I
it
looked
out.
at the plats, and I think the first lot there was a 25-foot lot, and the second lot's a 45-foot lot, so that'd be 70 feet. My thought is, if she could have those two first lots,
Is he gonna put a floating slab, is that what he's thinking?
no, I think he's thinking about doing
Is he
footage.
gonna be able to get footings and all that
He
cement in there?
said, she said that he said he wasn't concerned.
He's not concerned?
Well, I don't know if I would say he wasn't concerned.
Concerned.
'Cause
but
it
he
is
is-
a lot of
He
cement in there.
has planned extra expense for that.
Okay.
Well, Sandy, at this point, I don't think there's any objection. And what
So
you-
what do I do next to get it formally done? What do I need to do?
Well,
or
then you would ask you would ask me to ask for a motion to approve your request.
Tonight? I mean, I'm happy to
Is there a
ask you.
motion? Get the
I mean,
job done.
I was expecting that you'd want some time, but I'm
Not
not
necessarily.
trying to
If
push
the
it.
council likes your plan, why, there'll be a motion and a second, and we'll take a vote on it.
I'm kind of a glutton for things like this, and I know some people aren't, but I do enjoy it. I would make a motion
I
to,
would second it.
There's a motion made by Hoefling to approve that site for, potentially for the schoolhouse project, and it's been seconded by Scott. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You're on.
Wow. And the second thing is, who do I talk to or work with to know about setting up the mechanism to get the funds in?
When you say mechanism, do you just mean like the city could have a special account?
Well, I don't know, that's my ignorance.
To get the
I
tax
assume that
deductible
the
facility going.
503Cs
Yeah.
are for non-government entities. But when it's a government entity, I think you can set up an account for it. And that's the other thing I think we're gonna have. To put,
So donations
it has
are
to be
tax-deductible.
tax-free contributions. And I don't, the museum has, what I'm saying is, I think that we want to have a separate project and an account just for the Rural Legacy Project. Not just, how did you do the museum? It'd be exactly the same thing. You just set up, when
Well,
people
they have
contribute to
their
the
own-
museum, how do they do it? I don't know, I'm ignorant.
They have their own account, but if they want to apply for a grant, they go through the city. We act as the fiscal agent.
Well, that's what I'm asking that you would do for us too.
Yeah, do you have, and I understand that you probably have your grant writers, you're the grant writer. You have some other
For now.
very capable people in your midst.
Yes, I'm saying up to this point, but I'm happy to have
It would,
any kind of
I
help.
personally would make this comment, I think it'd be one of the best draws for Odebolt that we could possibly have.
I think so too, and if I have so much energy and passion for this, I want it to be the best restored
Good for you.
school
Good for
in
you.
the state, and I think we can do it, because
I'm sure it will
I'm
be.
not, because I did this, all I did was I was a vessel. Everybody in Odebolt has been helping. It is, it just has been falling together.
From talking to people, the project has been well received, hasn't it?
Yes,
And Linda?
yes.
Yeah.
We backed it, we definitely endorse it. We don't know what our defined role is in it, but the Betterment Committee, yes, we'll do
Well,
whatever we can.
It sounds like the council's got the green light.
Okay,
Is there a drainage problem, Bill, to Hemer's building?
No,
Does it need to be a diversion?
I don't
there?
think too bad. I think it goes down that alley pretty decent.
so where do you feel as, for all those reasons, where it should be as far?
Well, it sounds like, Carrie, you think it's gonna be far enough off of there.
Well, the thing is, when the snow melts, we can go down and figure that out.
We can go
Yeah.
measure and.
Yeah.
Right.
Because, I mean, it's not on its way to town right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, to lay it out,
But you're talking 2 lots.
I'll
so
make
you-
a call.
You probably won't want to be in the middle of the first lot, I'm assuming.
Right.
That sound right? I would say you'll be all right.
You know,
I'm
if
sure
we-
you'll get your engineering accomplished one way or
Well, we
the other.
will, we will. I am so blown away, I'm very thankful, and like I said, I apologize for not being a professional on
I want
knowing
to thank
exactly
you all
how
for
to do it.
coming, and we'll wish you good luck on your project.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for supporting me.
Council, we're going to move on. The library
Wow.
board sent me a letter,
I love it.
if I can find it, in all the paperwork. The library, I'm not gonna read the whole letter to you. They just say, due to the weather and your busy meeting, they would like to submit a report on paper. They have decided not to ask for an increase in funding this fiscal year. They do say, we're grateful to all the city council members for their positive support over the years and look forward to working with you in the future. Please don't hesitate to call us with questions if we can assist you. I did not read their most current report, so we can't act on that. It's 8 o'clock.
We're a little late.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's okay, you can
It's
go
been
later, you
open.
just can't go earlier.
What?
You can go later, you just can't go earlier.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna open this public hearing on the action to institute proceedings to enter into a loan agreement in the principal amount not to exceed $660,000 for the purpose of acquisition of land. This hearing is now open.
And the resolution, which was formerly 1107, will now be 1109. Yeah. Because Neil's got in
I
there
don't
too.
think there's
that
anybody
doesn't-
here. I can close
You
the
can
hearing.
just, ask if there's anybody here.
At this time, I'm gonna close this public hearing due to the fact there's no one here to discuss anything with us pertaining to this hearing. Hearing is now closed. And we have a resolution 1108, Joe?
Yeah, it's 1109, but it reads 1107 in your
But what
handout.
will it be numbered?
1109.
All right. Is there a motion to approve the resolution 1109, approving the loan agreement?
And as we talked with Neil before he left, that 660,000 may get reduced to 160,000 if we can use the whole CDBG on
That'd be
there.
huge. That'd be huge.
That's worked into this 1109.
Yes, 11,
Right.
yes.
Right.
Mhm.
I'll make the motion, we approve the resolution 1109. I'll second.
The motion's been made by Banker to approve 1109, seconded by Flint. This will be a roll call vote. Is there any discussion? If not, this is a roll call vote. Flint?
Yes.
Copeland?
Yes.
Bangford?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Hempel's absent. Motion unanimously carried.
What, would the bank's interest be the same if we only borrowed 160 from it?
Yeah, it could change. It could
They'd
change.
yeah, it could change.
You know, one thing, right now, bank interest is pretty low.
You got that right.
Well,
Why was he banking, I wonder, on a 4.6 or 4.8%?
They may do better than
Who, Neil?
Well, yeah, he's got 4% written in here, he says, but it's probably gonna be 4.5 to 4.7.
yeah, he said that, didn't he?
Well, have you got one of these? That's the bids from the banks.
Yes, and there was some clarification on that today. The bonding attorney called. He said both banks bid it as a bond, and they had been asked to bid it as a loan. And the difference in that amount of money in a bond bid or a loan bid was $70,000 too much on one and $100,000 too much on another. So the
Really?
bonding attorney was gonna call the banks. The representative of United Bank was not available today. First State Bank said
First
if they had to
underneath.
bid it as a loan, they're not interested.
If what?
If they have to bid it as a loan bid. Now, I don't understand why the
Okay.
interest is calculated different. I do not understand. that.
But those figures you have there, Joan, are high.
Those are
Yeah.
high.
Those
Yeah.
figures are high.
That's-
They looked high when I first saw that.
Well, it's so bad the first couple of years, but
Right.
it gets pretty hairy when you,
Yeah.
but they're
So
looking
those
at
are pretty-
long-term increase in interest.
Yeah, those are pretty, I guess, obsolete right now.
Yeah,
And we
okay,
won't know until the bonding attorney works it out with United Bank
okay.
what the final will be. But they advised me to go ahead and pass it as a temporary loan, because it does say not to exceed 660, it doesn't say how low you can go. So we can go ahead and that's what you just did, pass that resolution.
Okay,
Okay,
We'll go from there.
the budget recommendations, Joan, do you have any?
That's if anybody on the table has
At this
recommendations.
particular time, does anybody have any budget recommendations? Okay, we'll have our special meeting coming up for budget.
We
Oh,
can
we
set
need to
that
set the
now,
time
we need
and
to set that, yeah. Is Monday or Tuesday work? Because I have to have the information to the Chronicle by Thursday.
When do you need this meeting?
Monday or Tuesday of next week.
14th or 15th, you're
Yeah,
looking
and
at.
generally we meet like at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
and
You pick it, council.
Monday would work better for me.
All right.
Me too.
As long as
Monday-
as long as the
Monday-
wives don't care, that's what
Monday
I
at 6?
As long as they don't care.
Well, it's Valentine's Day.
Oh,
That's fine.
Oh, we better go
See,
Monday then.
now look
Yeah.
at. So that's
Monday.
why I recommended Monday or
Is that all right?
Tuesday.
Monday's still all right?
Monday 6, is that right?
Just a
Monday works
minute.
better for me.
Yeah.
Tuesday night has always got dance and I'm there till 6 o'clock.
Okay, so
Monday the 14th at what time?
at 6 o'clock, that's
6
fine.
p.m., okay.
Okay, it's Monday, the 14th, 6 o'clock.
Okay, and now we have to pass a resolution to set the time and date of the budget hearing. And that will be at our March meeting, and we usually say 8 o'clock at the March meeting. Is that
We
okay?
don't need to take action on that.
Yeah, we have to pass a resolution.
Oh, tonight?
I'll make
Yeah.
a motion that it be the next regular March meeting at 8 o'clock.
Okay,
Second.
At a regular meeting.
The motion's been made by Flink, to pass resolution 1108 and time, date, budget hearing. It's been seconded by Hofling. A roll call vote. Flink,
Yes.
Hofling,
Yes.
Bangford,
Yeah.
Scott,
Yes.
and Phil's absent. Motion unanimously carried. That take care of that, Joan?
yes it will.
Permits, do we have any permits?
Didn't see any.
Complaint file?
No.
No? Unbelievable. Nuisance abatement committee reports, does anybody have anything to address at this time? We have some pending nuisances, but if nobody cares to discuss them at this
I
particular.
just think, and I don't know if anybody agrees with me, but considering the weather.
Who?
Considering the way the weather's been,
Oh,
it might be a little difficult for me.
should we just bring it up next month? You wanna table
You
it till
think?
next month? That'd be agreeable
The
with council.
nuisance.
Follow-up nuisances.
Oh.
We'll just table our
everything's buried
discussion
now.
on
Yeah.
pending nuisances till March.
Yeah, they even blew snow over it.
Then, Joan, just make a note of that.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
And you're gonna have to help me on this SARC annual report.
I don't even know where it's at. It was the one you had wanted the council to see it was, I think it was the recycling, it's the sack.
Find it, we'll look at it next time.
Okay,
We'll address that on the
Okay.
agenda for March,
okay.
and then the library report. County law enforcement,
Now,
report.
did you wanna
I
approve the
have
library
one
report?
thing, I have one thing on county law enforcement, but if she wants to do the library report first.
The library report.
Make a
Ron.
motion to approve the library report.
Okay.
Second.
Motion's been made by Clint to approve the law enforcement report.
Library.
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 Thought you said we couldn't approve that.
Oh,
Yeah, you had read it, Ron.
did it?
He always reads
It's
it.
in
Well, I
the,
know
it's
you
in the
did.
it's in the correspondence, but you
okay.
have previously read
Anyway,
it.
you
yeah.
made the motion, and it was seconded by Hoffman. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Right.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, now on county law
All right.
enforcement. Kenny asked me to just put this out there for thought, you know, to make a decision on it right away, but he wants to enter into a 3-year contract with set increases per year, and those increases he thought would be around 2%.
What would that amount to? Real quick figuring,
75,000
Times
times
two.
2%.
$1,500.
That would cover, hopefully cover the cost of fuel, raises, insurance.
$1,500
Yeah.
increase.
Yeah. Similar to what I think the Mayor of Wall Lake's looking at.
Well, when he sent me that, Keith, he sent me a letter, and I asked him that specifically. I said, will there be a price increase?
And that's why he built that in there.
But see, he never addressed if there would be a price increase after the first year. All he said to me was, the contract, if we went with Sac County, would renew each year, but didn't say anything about an increase. And then I'm
Well,
gonna
this is
I'm
what
gonna call him tomorrow.
yeah, this is what he told me here, and I think he'd be looking at something similar to that.
This your first year, though.
We haven't decided anything yet.
No, I know.
If they
but it would-
decided, it wouldn't be effective till July 1 anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
okay. This would be your first year if you go that route.
So would that affect us in this next fiscal budget then? Okay.
Is there 1109? I didn't see it in that.
Well, all
Well, it's
those
gonna be
numbers
11-10
changed.
now.
Yeah, which one are you looking at?
The weapons restriction.
11.
Oh,
We need a,
that was to be discussed. I don't
Yeah,
think there's anything in writing yet.
this,
Every year?
the next item to be discussed is weapons restriction.
Per year.
Per year.
6% over 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh, for 3 years.
Yeah.
2% every year.
He did a lot. He did a lot of work on it, soul searching on it, and he thought that was fair, and it covered our expenses.
Darn fuel costs.
That's just it. Exactly right.
Well, that and he's trying to upgrade your computer systems into your vehicles was another.
That's been approved already. So
Well, but that was going to be an added expense.
yeah, it'll
thought.
be an added expense.
You know,
So-
back to this request by the sheriff on a 2%. We'll discuss that at our
Yeah, that's what I wrote out.
special meeting on budget. We need to think about that. The next item on the agenda is the weapons restriction, and it's strictly for discussion tonight. The courthouse, I believe, don't you have a restriction?
I think they
And
passed
many
it
city
already.
halls are passing a restriction,
City
and,
halls,
pardon me?
city halls,
Yeah. Yeah. We don't want people wearing guns to city hall.
I do too. I seen something on the news here a while back.
But if
You
you'd
don't
like,
wanna run.
if you'd like the model,
You want me to carry mine?
Keith can bring the one that the county passed, it'd be the same thing, wouldn't it?
Well, I don't know. I suppose.
I think it's a very good idea.
You ought to ask the sheriff.
I'd have to-
The only thing is you don't restrict it to firearms. You have to say weapons.
But do you feel that we
Behind
should,
you.
maybe you don't have any interest in it, do you feel we should restrict
Absolutely.
people bringing a gun in here? Okay.
You could do that.
Well, we'll get a model ordinance,
Yeah, enforce it.
You ain't gonna,
We'll get 'em-
you could do it, but it isn't gonna mean nothing.
Yeah.
If they're gonna bring a gun in, they're gonna bring a gun in.
They don't care.
Well, we
It's
aren't,
like,
we aren't gonna search them.
Right.
it's just like any other criminal operation.
right.
Well, we'll get a copy of an ordinance that's been passed and take a look at it and see if it'll work, okay? Now, this next item is sidewalk grant. The principal had contacted Bill, he contacted me. They have a grant through the school, they'll write it, that would replace many of the sidewalks that need replaced. That's just the way Tony presented it to me.
It's a kid,
The kids walk to school, any place where kids walk to school, they have a grant that'll replace the sidewalk.
Wow,
As we know, our sidewalks are in,
bad shape without a,
yeah, well, you walk them, Jim, you know, and every kid walks those sidewalks that.
Yeah.
So, what I would really like to, and here's what Tony wanted, he wanted a committee, from the city, to meet with him, and they'll proceed. And what I'd like is 2 volunteers to serve on that committee with Tony on this sidewalk grant.
I'll volunteer.
Jim?
whatever.
Don?
I will.
Don?
Is it all three of you, or,
It don't matter.
okay, so who, Todd then and Jim?
Todd and Jim.
Okay.
Mike can just well be on.
And Bill and I are on that committee also.
Not to
Yeah, we
interrupt you, Mayor,
probably
but
should only have 2
It sounds too good to be true.
with an alternate.
They also said that they would do, handicap accessibles if needed also, like if a kid was going to
Yes,
school.
yeah, accessible.
And,
I
you
mean,
know,
it-
even if the rest of the sidewalk was okay and there wasn't a place, they could do that. They said that if somebody wasn't scooping their sidewalks, they could even have some money to pay for that so the kids can get through the sidewalk.
Mayor,
You'll give us a time thing on the meeting.
Oh, yeah, if they let me know, I'll pass it along, yeah.
I'm on the committee for East Sac County. We haven't had our first meeting yet, but there's gonna be 6 of us. There's gonna be 2 from the Sac City District, 2 from Lakeview, 2 from Wall Lake. And, those will be designated school routes for the kids. And there is grant money, as long as the kids are using those designated school routes, for the sidewalks and stuff. And yes, there is considerable amount of money that is available.
Well, Tony, the principal, just was giving it to me kind of in I mean, nothing specific. And so he wants to meet with our committee, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah,
Probably find out the same thing you.
They're gonna have, they haven't told me when our meeting is, but there's 6 of us on our committee. Like I say, 2, 4, 6 from each district.
Yeah.
And they're gonna go through what we want to propose for each district.
Council, I'm gonna move on. Delinquent water bills, Joan, where are we at?
I don't even know. I didn't check the list today, it's just been
I'm
too
sure you'll
busy.
be informing Bill.
Yeah, and it won't be tomorrow, cause I'm out of town.
I'm gonna move on to the superintendent of utilities report. Bill?
The only thing that I have is, we've got 3 bridges that have to be inspected through the DOT. And one of them has to be inspected every year, so one of them down on Walnut Street. They changed a bunch of computer stuff, everything has to be filed computer now. Our engineer has been Bob Pyre. He said he'd do it for about the same price. I just want to clear it tonight that I'm going to have him inspect those 3 bridges and put the other 2 on whatever has to be done. He's going to come down probably Wednesday, and we're going to, we'll have to sign a paper that we'll pay whatever we've been paying on the bridges. But we definitely gotta have that done and done electronically. You
Which
have to have an
3 is it,
engineer
Bill?
do it. It'd be
Walnut.
the one down on Willow that
Yeah.
King put in.
Yeah.
That has to be calculated. It's never been calculated on distance, because I think that was put in their your green strip, wasn't it? Didn't King put that in?
Yeah.
That has to be approved, and where is the other one? Probably that culvert, I would
So
guess.
you're gonna go ahead and proceed.
I am, I'm gonna
Oh,
go ahead and
good
sign,
job. Yeah,
sign
yeah,
it
yeah.
Wednesday, but I just wanted to make sure you understood that
Anything else, Bill?
that's pretty much all I have. I
Okay.
think we got everything else covered.
We'll go into committee reports. Keith?
I'll defer to Mike.
I've got the cash flow, and you guys can see it if you'd like. I think we're gonna go over it here in a couple weeks.
Todd?
Couple days.
Yeah.
Couple days,
Um,
yeah.
I got, several applications for lifeguard and some basket room and manager positions, and I gotta set up a meeting to go through all that business and, be about it for that. I do have one other issue that's just not in my committee, it hasn't anything to do with my committee, but I've had about 4 or 5 people jump me about the young man that the city has hired to scoop their sidewalks. Is not 16 years old and is driving all over the streets cleaning sidewalks.
Do you using a skid loader?
No,
I haven't seen him drive.
he's using he was just up there the other day by my house with the
Okay.
pickup and the trailer and the snow blower. He pull up and knock the snow blower off the trailer. So,
Would you do me a favor? Send him a letter on behalf of the city and tell him he cannot drive a motor vehicle until he is old enough, and that he'll have to find someone to drive him around and do his snow removal. If he is caught driving, he will be could be subject to fine, or a ticket, or citation. Better put it right, a citation. Sound good? Sound good?
When are the applications due, Todd? Are they,
they're already in.
You call me when you want to.
are you seem to be satisfied with what's coming in so far?
Yeah, so far.
Good.
Number wise,
Pretty decent.
We just need enough swing operate. All right, just give me a call when you're ready.
Okay.
Anything else, Todd?
No.
Jim?
I don't really have anything.
Moving on.
On the flip side, police inventory. We have some police equipment?
Targets, and, yeah, I guess there's a lot of stuff downstairs.
What should we do with that, Keith?
We don't want it.
Someone had suggested an ad in
Belongs to you guys.
Cityscape
I'll take
or.
some targets.
You know, it
And-
needs to be gone through and looked at.
And Bruce did say maybe recommend to the gun club, I think he said Greg Neville, maybe the gun club would want those targets.
Are
Well-
they just bullseye targets?
Hmm,
Are they just bullseye targets? Or are they silhouette?
they're silhouettes.
oh, I was
Or
gonna
there
say
might be
the
both.
FFA,
There
but
might
I don't
be
think
both.
if they're so
I know there's some
Targets.
silhouettes. Hmm,
There's some others too.
okay. Yeah, it's hard telling how many there is, I don't know.
I'm gonna skip on down to parked vehicles. Bill, is there any problem? Okay.
There is, but I mean,
Well,
same thing.
you know, the time before last, I caught up with a few of them.
I know you did that.
This last time was a Sunday, I wasn't working, so.
I know. Copeland's are down again, all the cars there, and there's a co-op pickup sticking about 3.5 foot out of the,
Out in the alley.
same place.
Is there any further business?
And there was,
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
The motion's been made by Bagford to adjourn, seconded by Hopefully, and all in favor signify by saying aye.
Hi,
Meeting's adjourned.
we're done.